Hi, my name is Anna, and I am a singer-actor based in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. I went to school to sing opera. I graduated with my master's in 2017, and since then I've been trying to figure out where I want to make my mark in the performing world. Right when I got out of school, I thought I wanted to be an opera singer. I mean, that's what I went to school for. I did 6 years of higher education for that. And I started auditioning for young artist programs. And I wasn't getting the results that I thought I would. I had a pretty successful academic career. And once I started getting out in the real world, I got really down on myself. I felt like I wasn't auditioning well. I felt like I was psyching myself out so much. I just wasn't really happy performing. I never thought I wouldn't be happy doing the work. It was a real struggle for me for the whole year after I got out of grad school. And right at the end of 2017, I kind of thought to myself, okay, I live in this amazing arts community here in the Twin Cities. Why don't I try to, audition for some musicals and plays? I kind of took a leap, or what felt like a leap to me. Maybe that sounds dramatic. It felt like a leap to kind of break into a pretty tight-knit community here in the Twin Cities. And I started auditioning. I started doing, all the auditions I could here, and I started getting hired. That's not to say I didn't have any rejections. I had a lot of rejections. When I was auditioning, I felt very much myself. I felt very much seen and heard by the auditioners. I felt happy performing and auditioning and everything. And so now I feel like I'm going through a shift in my career choices, and I'm kind of now trying to figure out how I want to be a performer in the real world after school. So I'm trying to navigate this thing called life. And there are so many different ways of performing in the world. And I have always, ever since I was in elementary school, I always said, I want to be a performer. I don't care what I'm doing. I just want to be on stage and performing. I've just always really loved that. And so I started asking myself why I was limiting myself to just singing opera. There are so many different ways of using, everything that I've learned in school as a performer in the real world. So that being said, I know I'm not alone in kind of being confused once you get out of school. What if you don't have jobs lined up? What if you aren't getting hired in this field and that's all you've ever known? How do you figure out being a performer in the real world? I want to share my experience because I'm still figuring it out. I'm not someone who's famous, who's on the other side, who's trying to tell people what they did and how they became successful. I think that's useful, but I want to be a voice for someone who is actually in the thick of it, who's actually figuring it out, who's actually trying to get hired and do the grunt work, if you will. And I want this to be a safe space for people to talk about their experiences, to talk about their failures and their successes. I feel like as a performer, I get really nervous to talk about times when I've failed or when I haven't gotten hired for something. I'm trying to be better about talking about that. I encourage other people to kind of do the same. I think it's really healing. I just want to create a community of people who can talk about navigating the world as a performing artist. And I'd love to have people chat with me. I'd love to have other people's input. I'd love to tell other people's stories, not just mine. I don't want to talk at you, I want to talk with you. Performing can be a really scary, lonely world. I don't want it to be that. I want this to be a safe space for people to talk and to share and build each other up. So that's the gist of this. So this is just an introduction. Welcome. I hope you join me. This could be awesome, or it could be the worst thing ever. Let's hope it's awesome. I look forward to having you join me. Thanks.